Greetings from the third world. KNEC.com. These are the moments I've lived for. We are talking to Max fucking Cavalera. Join me in welcoming the infamous voice of Sepultura, Soulfly, Nail Bomb, Go Ahead and Die. So many great bands. How are you doing, Max?
I'm doing good, man. Good to be talking to you, brother.
It's a pleasure, sir. We're here talking today about the Cavalera brothers going on the road for what's going to be, I think, a monumental tour. You guys are bringing back, let's say, the time of Beneath the Remains and the time of Arise, going back to like 89 and 91.
Yeah.
Tell us about the upcoming tour.
Well, for a lot of people, there's different eras of Sepultura that people like. For a lot of people, this era is a lot of people's favorite. It might be for me as well. I won't lie. I think that time when we hit right after coming out of Schizophrenia, when we work on Beneath the Remains and Arise, there was something special going on, man, for sure. It was not just us, the whole scene in general. We were part of something that was quite unique. The melting of death metal and thrash metal coming together. There was a lot of really great stuff going on at that time, and like Death, for example, and in many others, Dark Angel, Possessed. A lot of great stuff that we were listening to. There's a lot of cool stuff coming out on Erake as well, like the Carcass, Napalm Death, Morbid Angel, Terrorizer. It was just a great moment in metal and in general. And I think the way we did it, me and Igorr decided to present this tour is combining both records together and because it's almost like if Believe the Remains and Arise came out as a double LP, it would have been okay. It would have been great because they're almost identical. They're very connected.
Yeah.
Even the names, if you think about it, Beneath the Remains is going down and Arise is going up.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're actually opposite names, but they go well with each other.
They totally do.
And so it's like the album covers, the artwork, and we are paying homage to that era, to that time, in a very very cool way. We really work hard on the set list to get the best songs possible, to get the best performance possible. But yeah, we already did a run of this in Europe and South America, and people lost their shit. They lost it. It was like some of the shows, I think Chile and Mexico, it was like somebody put me on a time machine, and it was 1989.
Wow.
It was like just like back in 1989. Everything about it felt like that. From the arriving in the airport with fans with banners in the airport,
wow,
all the way to the concerts itself. So I think it's great. And part of me, I think it's kind of like I don't do it just to relive the past. I do it because it's fun, man. This shit's fun. The songs are fun to play. The stuff it's epic. It's the older we get, the better these records sound, with something about they're timeless. That music is timeless, and you can see this the cycling of it through the years. You get more bands that are influenced by those records and many other records of that time. Mm-hmm. So because of that, those two are such influential records that we just love to go out and play, and we haven't done America yet, so this was the time. I think we're gonna have to do it again because we didn't cover enough. There's a many pissed off people that we're not going. They're like, "Boy, you're not coming here," and that without mentioning Canada. We're not doing Canada on this run, so we're gonna have to probably do another run later, and including Canada and some other cities. But I'm super excited, man. Really We just came out of a great Soulfly tour. Most of the shows was with 200 Stab Wounds, and that was fantastic. Well, it was a great guys and great tour. A lot of the shows are packed. I think people are starving for music right now.
Oh yeah, totally.
Out of this pandemic, and so it's hitting at the right time to be out for Beneath the Remains and Arise. I think it's going to be a perfect time to go out and show those songs to the fans now, how they sound now after 30 years of labor. They sound great now, you know.
Mm-hmm. Beneath the Remains and Arise are monumental albums. For me personally, as a fan, those were the albums that really just opened my mind musically. What you and Igorr were doing and the rest of the band was definitely breaking ground. You guys had the death metal sound, the thrash metal sound, and then you guys were adding this groove and just twisting metal to like a whole different style, a whole different direction. And props to your brother Igorr. He is one of like the drummers that have highly influenced my drumming over the years. Because of him, like I kind of shaped my style to him, and so I have a high appreciation for what you guys did back in the years. So you know, horns and a fist bumps to you and your brother for bringing Beneath the Remains and Arise, Schizophrenia, and so many other great albums. And I know I speak for the masses over here in LA that we are looking forward to the Cavalera brothers coming through LA and just destroying.
Yeah, it's I'll pass the message to Igorr. He loves to hear that, but it's yeah, I think it's great that that we get to do this in our career. It's kind of like it's one of those things that me as an artist are fortunate enough to be able to do it, because in one hand I have things going forward to the future, like New Soulfly, Go Ahead and Die, Killer Be Kill. But on the other hand, I get to look back and pay homage to old records like this, and we did the Roots also. Of course, eventually at some point we're gonna do hopefully Schizophrenia, Morbid Visions, KOCD. All of them deserve to be heard in such a way.
Sure, of course.
But you know, right now it's time for Beneath the Remains and Arise, and I think like there's something so raw about Beneath the Remains, man. This record is really close to my heart in many ways, because this is like the way we recorded. It was recorded at night. We didn't have the studio at daytime, so it was from midnight to 7 a.m.
Man.
Yeah, nocturnal recording, man. So it's like very metal, right? Like you're recording that you know, graveyard shift.
That's what you did.
That's how we did it, man. It was there was a pop band in the studio during the day, and we wanted to record in this studio because it was the best Brazilian studio in Rio, and we had Scott Burns. First time we had an American producer, a guy that understood death metal.
Yeah.
He had to work with Obituary.
Yeah, he touched a lot of great bands and like the part of the Roadrunner era and so much great music. Yeah.
Yeah, so he came to Rio, and you know, it was good to we had him at the helm, you know, and he with experience and know how to get good sounds of it. And our job was just to make the best songs we could make. And for that time, I think since the end of Schizophrenia, we did a bunch of Brazilian shows. There was a lot of shows that we did in Brazil, but we kind of like went all in for Beneath the Remains. Like, this is it. It's like, this is our shot. We better make this count. This is like first time on Roadrunner. We got a contract, which was you know, it's one of those things that we didn't expect things to happen to us. We went after them, you know, like getting the contract with Roadrunner was cool. Like, I went to New York as a Pan Am employee with a tie. I had to pull my hair back, you know. Had a free ticket to go to America, so I had a bunch of Schizophrenia records. I met with a bunch of people, and one of them, of course, was Monty Connor, and he called us later and offered us a contract, you know, and that was great. So everything about this record, like I think you feel the urgency. I think you almost feel the desperation in the way we're playing. This is our shot. We better make this. We better not blow it. We better not fuck this up.
Right.
This is our chance.
Yeah.
And I think it shows. I think the record really powerful, really raw, really with great kind of coming with very, to me, I think starting to be the trademark things that were part of the future, lyric wise, stuff like Inner Self and Mass Hypnosis.
Yeah.
And Beneath the Remains itself. By the time we got to do Arise, we already had the experience of a US tour, European tour. So I think Arise it's even a little bit deeper. The same idea, the same formula of death thrash type thing, but even deeper. And I think Arise, maybe a little better songwriting on Arise. I think stuff like Desperate Cry and Dead Embryonic Cells, you can see the growth in the musicianship. I think we became better at the instrument. And I think those two records are very connected to each other, and that's why it's so fun to play them together. It's just a full metal, man.
Yeah, a lot of energy coming from those records.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, we're gonna do a couple covers and other stuff too, but
sure,
hopefully it'll be about an hour and 20, an hour and a half of great metal for the fans. They're gonna love it.
Oh, they're gonna eat it up, man. I know for sure. And I'm gonna throw a little flashback at you. The first time, one of my first concerts too, actually, that I had seen Sepultura was at the Hollywood Palladium here in Los Angeles. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh yeah, it was packed. It was that New Titans?
New Titans?
It was like Sick of It All, Napalm Death?
No, I believe it was you and Fudge Tunnel.
Oh, okay, that was with Fear Factory then.
Was Fear Factory that too? Wow. And I think you guys did some Nail Bomb songs, if I'm not mistaken, too.
We did. That was a little bit later, but yeah, I have many great memories from some of the LA shows. There's some really cool ones. Like the Palladium ones are great. Of course, a lot of the other shows we play, there's been a lot of whiskey and
I definitely saw you at the whiskey there too.
All of those are really cool. And then some bigger ones with Ministry and Pantera in bigger places.
Right.
But yeah, I love playing LA. I think it's great, man. I think the crowd really comes out and especially for this kind of music, for this stuff. I remember our show, the Roots show at the Observatory was insane. It was packed to the gills, and what a great crowd. It was like really also the Country Club. I remember, I think that's the first place we played. Country Club, yeah. And those were all fucking great. Dino actually remind me of that. I was talking to him on the tour. That's where when the first time he saw Sepultura was at the Country Club. So
that's amazing.
It's always looking forward to play LA. There's something about it. Some musicians don't like to play the big cities like New York and LA. I found it the opposite. I think it's actually more exciting to play the big cities, and for some reason we connect really great. And all the shows always exciting, man. It's always like really high energy, and the shows always end up being good. So I'm excited for this one as well.
Very good. That's awesome. And definitely LA has the energy. Orange County, just down across the freeway too, they bring it. And I want to also throw some more flashbacks. I remember following your career with Soulfly, and you guys were touring heavily or playing a lot of shows with Head P and Snot. And I caught a lot of those shows, and those were just, it was a new era of you and Soulfly, and we were just like, okay, what's Max got in his pocket now? And that combination of those three bands, man, those shows were like intense. And Snot was like just barely blowing up too, and you helped them along the way. Yeah,
so I think that's the beginning of Soulfly. That was early early in the Soulfly career. Um, yeah, look back at all those at adventures. I'm very lucky that I got to experiment so much in metal. Some musicians, they can't say that. I'm able to say that I have experimented with, all the way back black metal stuff from Bestial Devastation, Morbid Visions, to death thrash, to industrial metal, to groove metal, to new metal, fucking tribal metal,
Yeah.
everything, man, a little bit of everything. There's even a little bit of doom in
Yeah.
some of the Soulfly songs, like Touching the Void, very doom riff, but it's fun, man. It's fun. It's kind of like breaks the makes it more exciting. And when
Sure.
you look back, you touch so many different areas of metal, because metal is such a big landscape, right? It's huge.
Sure.
The whole world. And if you're able to do that, I think it's super interesting to dig in and go inside these different avenues of metal and experience them.
Mhm.
Really enjoy everything. I don't really have a favorite era. Nail Bomb was a lot of fun. It was just the pure giving zero fucks about what anybody thinks of it. Just doing it.
And that's the way metal should be. Just zero fucks. Just hit record and just blast away.
Exactly, man. And I kind of apply that nail bomb mentality almost to everything that I do in life.
Yes.
Kind of like, we got into metal because there was no rules, and
yeah, exactly.
We hate rules. We hate had to follow certain, like church have rules.
Yeah. Even now to the day, like fuck rules,
Yeah, man. So I like to live it like that. It's like you say, press play and go. 1, 2, 3, go live.
Yeah.
I'm one of those kind of old school guys. Even today, I like to come and see and hanging out with the guys. I did a lot of hanging with the 200 Stab Wound guys. It's cool to see the new generation coming up, and I was like, I went to hang out in their dressing room quite a lot. I think I bugged them a lot through the tour. It's like, but they were really happy to have me, and we would just talk metal. What because there's a lot of great metal being done right now on the underground. There's a lot of good stuff being made right now, and I think it's a good time for metal. It's a good time for live music finally coming back now.
Yeah, I think so. I agree.
And I love to see new generation of kids doing their thing, like 200 Stab Wounds, or like Full of Hell, or
like your son too.
My sons with their bands, they're definitely doing it, kicking ass. So yeah, I love that, and it's kind of cool to see the new generation coming in, and they hold those records in really high regard, almost like sacred. Those
of course
guys that believe they're like sacred records,
Yeah. If you don't, then you should have pick up the guitar. Don't pick up the drumsticks.
Right.
You need to. This is like required listening. That if you're gonna try and get to this point, you need to understand what this is about. You need to hear it, not just hear the music, but understand the area, like you're talking about what was going on, and to be able to mature as a musician. I think you need to know where your roots are.
Right. That's how I was telling. I met a couple of fans on the tour, and sometimes you'll be the father and the son. They come together, and the father is an older guy like our age, and he's of course a Sepultura fan, also a Soulfly fan, but mostly Sepultura. And then the kid will have a Soulfly shirt on, and I'll, from curiosity, I go, oh, yeah, you you better be showing you some of my old shit. You better be educating your son, man. And of course he knows all about Rise and schizophrenia. He loves schizophrenia, and I'll go, yeah, that's cool, because to understand this, there wouldn't be a Soulfly without that stuff. I wouldn't be without Beneath the Remain.
We're talking with Max Cavalera, legendary voice, legendary vocalist, and just a metal icon. We're talking about the Cavalera brothers going on the road for Beneath, Arise, bringing back 2 monumental albums. Can you think back of what was going on with you and your brothers and the band when you guys were starting to write and record Beneath the Remains? What was influencing you at the time?
Oh yeah, a lot of stuff. At that time, we were just getting, like I said, we just finished doing a lot of Brazilian shows for Schizophrenia. I think we did the rainforest for the first time. We played Amazon, and we played the north of Brazil for the first time. And as far as what we were listening to, yeah, it was a mix of those, a lot of Death and Thrash for sure. And so everything from Morbid Angel, Pestilence, some European stuff, also Celtic Frost, of course, and Creator, and together with some hardcore. Me and Igorr always love hardcore. Discharge,
yeah,
it's always a big part of it, especially Discharge, man. That pure energy and anarchy that Discharge always had. It's always fucking great. And at that time I was actually tape trading a little bit earlier. That was probably around Morbid Visions. Was tape trading with Chuck from Death.
Wow.
The guys from Morbid Angel, Dark Angel, and I actually got a couple of tradings with Chuck. We painted some Sepultura shirts for him. He ended up using it. There's some pictures of him wearing it. Really cool. And there's something really cool that Relapse just put out. I think it was a couple years ago. It was a special edition of Scream Bloody Gore. And somehow, I don't know how they found it, but they found my letter that I wrote to Chuck.
Oh, wow.
And they printed that on the album. And it's really cool because it has, I can tell because it wasn't me that wrote the letter, because I couldn't really write English that good. So I had a friend of mine wrote the letter with his handwriting, and he was kind of like the translator. So I write it in Portuguese, and he would translate it to English, and then we send it to Chuck. But in the letter, I say, I'm asking him how come Back from the Dead is not on the record, because I just received Scream Bloody Gore, and the song Back from the Dead is not on the record. So I was not pissed off, but a little bit like let down. This is a fucking great song, man. How come this song is not on your record? Such a good song. But yeah, it was a great time of stuff like that. And then of course, after Beneath the Remain came the tours. We started touring Europe, America, and so forth. But at the time, and Beneath the Remains, those are most of the stuff that we were listening to. Heavily was mostly this underground stuff from the metal scene.
That's awesome. And if you don't mind me asking, if you want to let the fans know who you're bringing on tour besides you and your brother, who else is joining you on stage for this?
Yeah, we're making an announcement of that soon.
Okay.
Yeah, we are working on that right now. So pretty soon it's going to be announced, and people will get to know. But it should be really cool.
Right on. Very cool. Well, Max, time has flown by, not just this past hour, but the past 30 years. And from one loyal Max fan, like I speak for a lot of people, thank you for all your contributions in metal. It's such a high respect that you're still keeping it going all these years. You and your brother are still out there, and that's what we need right now. People are coming out to those concerts, and I encourage everybody to catch the Cavalera brothers. Beneath Arise tour starts in May. It's coming to your city, and you already have some of the world in your pocket, and you're going to keep touring that machine, I know.
Yeah.
Is there any final words that you want to say to the fans out there?
Just thanks, man. I thank everybody. Be at the show if you want to see some great metal, relieve some amazing riffs tuned to E standard. It's gonna be awesome, man. Thank you for the time and the support, brother. Appreciate it.
Of course, anytime. And cheers to everyone, your brother and your wife and everyone, your son, and much respect again, Horns. And
Right,
yeah,
man.
stay heavy.
Yep.
Cheers.